Hello everyone, welcome to Jennifer's Sewing and Crochet. Today I want to start off by telling you that I've been working really hard on these videos in the background to get these edited and out to you on time. And I had a conflict with my editing software. There was an update that I was missing, and I was really stressing out about getting these videos out to you because editing a 1 hour video was taking 20 hours to edit and render. And then the next part 3 video took 10 hours to edit and render. And somehow overnight, I was able to get things figured out. There was a conflict with my Google Chrome that was causing my editing software not to update. So Google Chrome was blocking my software updates for my editing software. So I've got that fixed. I've got part 4 rendering right now, and by the time you see this, part 4 will already be up. So hopefully I'll be able to get these videos out to you a lot faster now. I was just stressing so bad, and I think part 4 of the video, my goofiness might have had something to do with that, with a little bit of the stress from it. But I'm happy to say I got it figured out now, and it is rendering right now in the background. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get to part 5. For those of you that are new to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you again for that. I can't believe it. I'm almost up to 50 followers right now. I know that doesn't seem like a lot to some people, but I never thought I would even get close to that this soon. So I really do appreciate that. And I think I got all that covered. So let's go ahead and get to work on our next step. We are going to combine our 2 units of the first diamonds and the rectangle. Then we're going to combine our flying geese portion. Okay, and that is here. So we're going to take unit A, which is here, our diamond portion. Let me move this aside. So we're going to take our unit A, and then our flying geese portion, which is unit B in our pattern. And again, there will be close-up photos. I am really sorry for the glare. I'm having to use some different lighting today because it's a really gray, gloomy day. We are actually supposed to get some rain and snow tonight. Weird weather for New Mexico. But okay, I'm sorry for the glare. I will have photos like I usually do at the end of the video of the steps and the diagrams for you. But we're going to take our unit A and our unit B, and we are going to combine them. If your seam is, if your unit B, they're calling this unit B now in the pattern. So if it is a little wonky, when you do get it sewn on and you press your seams, it'll line up a little better. Another friend told me that it could be because the pieces are so small for each part that it kind of like can kind of like move around a little bit. But when we do this, we want to make sure that the seam on this portion and this portion of unit B, we match these seams up to these seams of unit A. Okay? You can pin them, and I think I am going to actually do that just so it holds just a little better. A little container of pins. So I'm going to make sure you get your Unit A, have your diamonds pointed down, and your flying geese pointed up. Okay, like it shows in our diagram. So I'm going to just flip it over, and I'm going to make sure, let me zoom you in just a little. Okay, hopefully we're a little bit better there. So we are going to match our seams. So this seam here and this seam. So we're just going to put them together. It's really important that your seams on that portion match, because you can fudge it a little bit if the ends don't quite match right when you're assembling it, because you have your 1/4 inch inseam, and if it's just a little bit off, it's okay. It's still, you can still manipulate it to get it to match up correctly. And I'm doing much better today than what I was on the Part 4 video, which I actually filmed yesterday. I wasn't sleeping well. I was letting stuff affect me, which in today's world with COVID and everything else, it's to be expected. I was just letting stress build up, and I was really upset about my software not working. But thank God, since I have deleted Google Chrome off my computer, it seems to be so much better. I never knew that a browser basically could affect my software, blocking its updates. I'm just glad I have it figured out. So I like to take time when I am matching up seams like this. I clip my threads if I need to, just so when I am actually sewing the seam, nothing gets messed up. I'm kind of picky when I match up my seams. I want it to be just right. And I'm sure most of you do too. I feel, I don't know how I can explain to y'all that I feel so much better that I got the software issue figured out. And I was really freaking out over it. And one of my friends that I've been talking to asked me last night if I could, if she would like me to, I guess, proof. I think she said proof, or just kind of like go over the video that I already had finished of yesterday. And I told her that it's still in bits and pieces and it hasn't been edited yet. And I told her a little bit that, you know, it takes 10 hours for my videos to edit and render, and I didn't know what the problem was. And maybe God intervened on it, but today when I got up and I started editing and rendering the new video for you, and I saw that it was only going to take 2.5 hours to render a 30-minute video, I was like, oh, I guess it finally updated, that removing Google from my computer finally really helped it. And it's like a weight has been lifted off me because I was really super stressed. And I haven't really shared it with anybody other than my adopted mom, Terry. I told her about it, and a friend, Madison. I told them about it, and I was so frustrated and so stressed because it's just, you know, an hour video should only take a little over 4 hours to edit and to render it. And when I did that last part 2 video that was almost a full hour, I believe it was like 58 minutes long, and it was 20 hours. And I was very, very discouraged. And at that point, I'd already had so many people excited about these videos. I was seriously considering just scrapping the whole thing and giving up, because it was really getting to me. And I didn't want to let anybody down. So I was really frustrated, and I was disappointed, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody. So I'm so relieved. Okay, so with all my pieces pinned together, I'm going to take them to the machine, and we're going to stitch this with a 1/4 inch seam. Let me adjust the camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to start off by removing my 1/4 inch foot with the guide. Okay, so with the little guide on here, I'm going to set that one aside. I just like piecing with, won't click on there. Come on, get on there. There we go. Okay, I just like piecing sections that have a lot of seams to them with the 1/4 inch foot that doesn't have the guide on it, because sometimes the guide can catch on the seams that are already there and lift them a little, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to take that off and then just use my regular. So I'll set that one aside. I'm going to hold my thread tails, lower my needle, and I'm lining up the edge of my block with this edge of the seam of the foot. And let me put my slipper on so I can use my foot pedal. Okay. And I remove that pin right before I get to it. Make sure my piece is okay. And then I make sure. It is a little bit harder, black on black. I have to use a really bright light. That I use a filming light that is on like a telescoping rod, kind of a bendable rod, that I can, maybe I can show you guys here. Okay, see, sometimes I put it right up against, so I'm like looking through a window, but the light is cast on exactly what I am sewing, and it just lets me see a little bit better. Let me move that back out of the way. I really like it. I purchased it for filming, but then learned that it had another dual purpose, that I could use it while sewing for the light, that I could adjust it either in front of my machine or behind it. and it was going to give me accurate light. I do have one of those ones that you can stick to the inside of your, it's an LED strip that you can stick to the inside of your machine. And I absolutely hated it. I ripped it off, and I think I have it stuck up on a bookshelf somewhere for now. And I like it, but not on my machine, if that makes any sense. It gets in the way, and for me it just doesn't work. I know a lot of people really do like them, but yeah, not me. Okay, so there's our first piece. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so when we have our seams pressed, my diamond points match perfectly. I'm really impressed with that one. This one may be just the very tip of it may be a little bit off, but I'm really impressed with the way this one worked. I'm going to continue on with the next 3 pieces, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have all of our pieces, our unit A and B, sewn together, and then I have the seams pressed, and you're going to want to press the seam towards the large portion. So I guess when you're looking at it, it would be up. I'm really pleased with the way my points have met up. This one's like really nice. I really like the way this one turned out. This point's just a little not as sharp, but that's okay too. Okay, so our next step, put these aside, we are going to take our B print 2-inch squares, which is my white print. These we marked in part 3 video. It had us mark them. Then we are going to take our A print 3.5-inch squares. I really like this one. This unit is really kind of cute the way it turns out. I really like it. So okay, so we're going to take our 3.5-inch square, lay it down, take one of your 2.5-inch squares, and you are going to place one in the bottom. So your marked line is here. Okay. And then you're going to do that for all of your 4 squares. Okay. And then we are going to take it to the machine, and we are going to sew right on that line. Okay, so let me take these to the machine and I will show you how that's going to look. Okay, so I have went ahead and chained pieced the other 3, and on our last one I am going to sew right on that line, or if you want to do right next to the line. I have found that on some pieces, like on my 2 3/8 squares, it's better if you're going to sew just on the opposite side of the line where you're going to trim the piece. It gives you just that little bit more fabric for that scant 1/4 inch seam. And along the way, as you're working, you'll find what works best for you. And the way I cut my pieces, the scant 1/4 inch seam would have worked better on that. I did have to fudge my seams a little to get the squares to match right. Okay, so let me adjust the camera again, and I will show you our next step. Okay, so we're going to clip these apart really quickly here. Then we're going to lay them back out, and you're going to take the remainder of your 2-inch squares, and you're going to put them on the opposite side, like so. And then you're going to again sew on that line, or like we just said, on just next to it, to give you that scant 1/4 inch. If those of you that do not know what a scant 1/4 inch seam is, what that is it's just maybe a thread to 2 threads smaller than a full 1/4 inch. So instead of sewing directly on the line, I'm actually sewing either next to the, just basically next to the line, instead of sewing directly on it, if that makes sense. I would definitely recommend new sewers or new quilters to Google it, and I think it could probably explain it maybe a little better than I am. But it's basically you're just sewing next to that line, and it just gives you that 1 to 2 threads extra space. And you'd be surprised on how much that 1 to 2 threads can actually change your piecing. Okay, so I have those all matched up, except this one. Okay, so again, I'm going to take these to the machine, and I'm going to sew right next to that edge, to that line. Give me just a moment. Okay, so I have all those pieces sewn down. Clip those seams, those threads. And then what our next step is going to be is we are going to again trim, leaving a 1/4 inch seam or 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just like so. We're going to do that on both sides. So I have a question. By the time you're watching this video, you will know that part 4, I was a little wonky. It was an off day. Do you guys like that I included that it showed that I was having a bad day, but I wanted to also show you that sewing isn't always perfect. Some days are bad, and sometimes you're just off. Please leave a comment Let me know what you think about that. If you'd rather have me, you know what, film another video, we don't want to see that. Or do you like that, you know, I showed that sometimes you just have that off day and you get confused and you have to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong here and what's wrong with me? It was it was a day. But I am feeling better. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd really appreciate your feedback. Okay, so we have all those pieces trimmed, and you got this cute little piece. So what we're going to do is we are going to open it up, and you are going to press your seams to the white side. Okay, and it shows you in the diagram that your seams will be pressed to the small triangles or to the white. Okay, so let me get those pieces pressed and I will be right back. Okay, so I have our little pieces pressed. I'm going to clip a couple of these threads. And our next step, I'm going to move these aside. I really like how cute these are. I don't know what exactly this is called, but I really like how cute the piece is. Okay, so we're going to set those aside and we are going to continue on by sewing together our A print 2 and 3.5 inch rectangles to our B print 2 and 3.5 inch rectangles. Let me pick up my little trimming crumb pieces and I keep those in a little bag. I think these will make a really cute crumb quilt or crumb fabric. Okay, so we're going to take our pieces. Let me make sure I have my pieces laid correctly. Again, I have said in some of the other parts that make sure if you're using a tone-on-tone that you're using the right side. It is noticeable. One side will be a little duller and the next side it'll pop like the dots are floating on top of the next. That's one of the things that one of my friends told me, to determine your tone-on-tone, which is the right side and which is the wrong side, that the one that's on top will look like it's floating on the other piece. So I've had to make sure on all my portions that I have sewn that I have it correctly in the right direction. So we're just going to take these and simply put right sides together and we're just going to sew them together. And oops. Okay, so I will take that to the machine and I will be right back. Okay, so I have those sewn and I have pressed my seams towards the white side. This will be where we're going to end today. On our next video, we're going to be assembling the center portion of the quilt, or of the block. Okay, lay this out for you. So we're going to be actually assembling this whole center portion. Okay. And then, depending on how long this will take, we may have one more video after that for complete assembly of the block. We will see how that goes. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, please ask. And again, if you like how the previous video was, if you like how I included my mistakes and I just didn't gloss over them, please leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about that. If you like that I included it, or whether you'd like me to not do that next time, let me know. Okay, again, like and subscribe. We'll see you on part 5. Bye-bye. Actually, this is part 5. We'll see you on part 6. All right, bye-bye.